You want me to do that? I'll be happy
Sure.
to. Sure. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to our membership meeting. Welcome Pam from Harlingen. It's good to see you. Pam's from my club, so I wanted to
Hi, Pam.
reach out to her.
Hi, guys.
Anyway,
Hi. It's nice to see everybody on Zoom.
but anyway, welcome
Excited about my
everybody.
year.
Yeah, we this is going to be an interesting meeting. I was told by Luis, our Lieutenant Governor membership, and now our District Governor nominee designate. Anyway, he's been leading this effort, and he mentioned to me that we were going to have an interesting speaker that his district actually was growing while other districts around were shrinking, including ours. And so we all want to find out what his secret is. I don't know if he's going to tell us his secret, but at least we can hear some of the things he's doing there, and hopefully maybe we can put it to work here, because it's all about membership. We are a membership organization, and if without members, we can't do the work that needs to be done. And so I'm looking forward to hearing what's going on there. And we've been working on this membership team for a whole year, and I think we're ready to kick it off to another gear into next year and keep it rolling. And I know that Helen is going to do a great job when she takes over as membership chair, and so hopefully everybody will support Helen and her efforts and continue this team that we've got going here, because I think this has really been a wonderful and a great team that you guys put together here. So let's move forward.
And I wanted to thank Helen for bringing Alex, and also Justin for teching for us. Justin, thank you.
Alex is a 18-year Rotarian, and he has leadership at both the club and the district level. He's the current president and president-elect from Plano West. He's a Paul Harris Fellow +1, a member of Paul Harris Society, a benefactor, and the Bequest Society. The Plano Club has been in existence 41 years, and their club founder is still a member. They are the fastest growing of the 7,585 clubs in the USA. So Alex, we just want to hear from you. Take it away.
Great.
Hello, everybody. Everybody see my screen up there?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Looks good.
What I'm going to do is, bear with me. I have 3 monitors. And so as Justin will tell you, Zoom kind of takes over when you have multiple monitors. So let me take it back. All right, very good. Well, I'm really honored to speak to your district, 5930. What's kind of special about 5930 is I'm in 5810. We're the North Texas district, and you are the South Texas district. So we're, in theory, we're sister districts on different sides of Texas. So I'm very excited. I was able to get to know actually Justin through Relay, and then Ellison was my facilitator on my 3rd pets. And as I was saying earlier, this virtual pets, you have the thrill of being with your small groups for 3 hours for 5 nights. So you get to know everybody well. And so I was honored that he asked me to come. We kind of went through some of my little bio. These are just some pictures of my Rotary Club, of me, and doing some of our service. I had mentioned earlier, we do t-shirts. All our volunteers get a free t-shirt. And that sounds like, oh, not a big deal, but let me tell you about our volunteer base. So I'm not going to go through my intro any better, because I think Helen did a great job. But before I start, I want to tell a story. Some of you might be familiar with it. There's a children's book which small kids love. It's called The Monkey Puzzle. Is anybody familiar with it? Some might have heard of it. It's by Donaldson and Scheffler. And baby monkey is looking for her mother with the help of Butterfly. Butterfly shows her all kinds of animals based on baby monkey's description. Baby monkey gets frustrated though and says, "Butterfly, Butterfly, can't you see? None of these creatures look like me." Butterfly answers, "You never told me she looked like you." Baby monkey says, "Of course I didn't. I thought you knew." Butterfly answers, "I didn't know. I couldn't. Can't you see? None of my babies look like me." And if anybody knows, caterpillars are the babies of butterflies. Well, when we look at the metamorphosis of a caterpillar to a butterfly, it helps us reflect Rotary from our early days. You know, Rotary is like an egg that developed into a gregarious caterpillar. It grew, it spread to cover the world. Now, we're like the caterpillar in that we've been content. We thought that we were the adult. Well, then, as we know, caterpillars, it changes into a chrysalis, which transforms into something new, something more beautiful, something more mobile, which is the butterfly. Well, that's where we're trying to get to in Rotary. That's a transformative club, because the butterfly is what serves the real purpose of cross-pollinating the plant species. So when we think about it, a caterpillar, their evolutionary changes and its truly revolutionary transformation, it's controlled by genetics. But for Rotary, not born by nature, we use a strategic planning process to enact our evolutionary changes. Like Paul Harris said, revolutionary at times. So some people might be familiar. This is Rotary's 5-year strategic plan. So when people ask, how did my club achieve triple growth during COVID? It's by actually executing Rotary's strategic plan. This started in 2019, and it's key on 4 areas: increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participant engagement, increase our ability to adapt. That's how our club transformed. So let me kind of give you a little story here so you can put this in perspective. Because honestly, I hear in our district, we have people that come from other districts. Oh, I had this club, 300 people. We were so amazing. You need to do exactly what we did. Well, you have different cultures. Coming from a big club, you have a different perspective of Rotary, or if you're small, because the majority of Rotary clubs are under actually between 20 and 30 in size. So those massive club stories don't really reflect the true US Rotary Club experience. But I want to ask everybody here some questions. Prior to COVID, did your club exhibit the membership growth that you wanted? We could do some virtual or physical hands. I see one person, Helen's being honest, everybody else is being stoic faced. Yeah, I like activity here. All right, so the other question I have is, did your club represent your community? Because that's what Rotary wants us to do. You know, obviously, and that changes on the community. If you're in Mexico, your community is going to be predominantly Hispanic. Well, it's not the case if you're in Africa or you're in Asia, but if you're in the United States, we need to reflect our community. How do you figure that out? Easy demographics. Just Google demographics, the name of your city, you're going to see your breakdown. Another question I have, does the gender, by gender, do you have as many women in your club as your community has? Everybody's got a different statistic, whether you meet that or not. Then another question is, which could be sensitive for some Rotarians, does your club truly represent your community in all areas of diversity? Now, I'm not trying to take over Bowtie Todd's position, but this is critical to Rotary. We're talking gender identity, LGBTQ, disabilities, across the board, social economic. Does your club represent your community? Religiously, are you all Christian? Are you all Muslim? Are you all Jewish? These are questions that we have to ask. So I want to see show of hands here. Who can answer yes to all those questions that I just asked? Juanita, I saw her put her glasses on. I thought she was going to say yes. I'm like, wow, awesome. Well, if you did, you have what Rotary calls a vibrant club. But most of us, we don't. So now what I want to do is kind of share with you a story. For Plano West Rotary, before COVID, January, we were looking at, you know, this, I was president-elect, but when COVID hit, our current president kind of stepped back, so I had to take over 4 months earlier. So yay. And so what I was looking at, and prior to that, is what does Rotary say we should be looking at? Well, this is what Rotary says. You need to represent your community. So I just ran numbers. I have an electrical engineering degree, so I'm into facts and figures. Well, Plano, most people know Plano, 300,000 people. My club had 21 members on July 1st, 2020, so 11 months ago. Plano, population was 51% women. My club was 14% women. We had 3 women out of 21 members. Plano, 44% non-white. My club was 10% non-white. Of the 21 members, we had me and another guy. I'm Black. I recruited a Pakistani friend of mine. We were it. We were the token minorities for our club 11 months ago. Plano, adult median age, meaning 18 and up, was 51. Our Rotary Club, 67. Does that sound familiar? At 55, I was among the youngest. I was in the, I think there was only 2 people younger than me in our club. Typical Rotary. Religious-wise, Plano as a city, 46% of the people identified themselves as Christian. In our club, we're 100% Christian. So our problem was we didn't look like our community, which we're supposed to. And we were also losing members. As Helen had said, we're a 41-year-old club. There are 6 Rotary clubs in Plano. We used to be this, well, we were the second oldest, we were the second largest. At the time of July 1st, we were the smallest of the 6 Rotary clubs, even though we were the second largest. So, does this sound familiar? The stats for my Rotary club, does that sound like a lot of clubs in your district? It sounds like a lot of clubs in the United States. I mean, that's just a fact of the matter. And I've seen the US numbers. So you're wondering is, what did we do? Well, like I said, we actually implemented Rotary's action plan to transform. And I want to show you how we did it. But before I do that, I want to show you where we got to. So May 21st, as of today, we went from 21 members to 64 members. We inducted our 64th member yesterday, as a matter of fact. Our club meets Tuesday noon. Went from 14% females to 50% female. So we're at gender equity, 32-32. 10% non-white to 52% non-white. Median age dropped from 67 to 50 in our club. Went from 100% Christian to 90% Christian. It's not drastic, but hey, it's diversifying. We need to represent our community. We actually have club members that are immigrants from 8 different countries. As I mentioned earlier, one is Mexico, but we have Nigeria, Liberia, Zambia, Cameroon, Pakistan, India, and Nepal. In fact, we're forming a special team that's going to help these new Rotarians connect with Rotary clubs in their hometown. And we're not trying to do sister club or anything. We just want to do international cooperation, to have Zooms together, to get to know the cultures, because they're completely different, completely. So we're kind of excited about it. And of course, these club members are really excited about it. Our club, we have 34% of our club is under 40. 9 college students in our club. We have representatives of Islam, Hindu, and Christianity. We're still looking, we're targeting to find some Jews. We need to find some Jews because we're missing, the Jewish population is like, I think it's the 4th largest religious group in Plano. So we're really targeting looking like our community. Then obviously there's some atheists in there as well. And we want to represent Plano. We also have members of the LGBTQ representation. Didn't have any, obviously we didn't have this before. So the whole point in this is not to brag, but to show you I know where you're at. I mean, like I said, I've been in Rotary 18 years. I actually was in another club for 15 years, the first club in Rotary in Plano, which was the largest. And then I moved to this club 3 years ago. And so I understand where you're at. I am currently a president. I have 1 month left on this year, but I'm going to be president again. So I feel your pain, but let's talk about how we did it. And not only these are pictures of our service projects, as you can see, and very diverse. You'll see you'll see them behind me. You see these blue shirts behind us? We give to all our volunteers, 1 per. We actually track it all. People love it. So then when we have a project, you see nothing but Rotary shirts. And so that's one of the little things we do. But what I want to do is, as I mentioned earlier, give you some concrete steps. And the greatest thing about this is RI told us about this 2 years ago, but prior to the course, Rotarians never listened to RI. And so most people have never even seen that action plan before. But if you implement it, they even have a course in a learning center that takes you through the action plan and gives you ideas how to implement it. So I encourage you to look at it, because this is Rotary International's 5-year plan of how we're going to implement this transformation. But I want to ask you some questions to kind of put you on the same page of how we did it. Anybody want to speak up? What is this?
Gym.
It's a gym. Perfect. Now, my question, I actually do online teaching as well. And I don't like dealing with chat. So if you're chatting things, I'm ignoring it. I like people to speak up. So I am not a mute the whole time. This has actually been the most uninteractive talk that I've had so far. And so I want you guys to speak up. So my question is, somebody just told me that's a gym. Nobody else knew but them. So awesome. Who are the clients of the gym?
Looks like men.
Gym members.
But who the members? And they will let anybody join, right? I mean, they'll let women join, right, Helen?
Yes.
The
I see
public.
two women.
So this, oh, yeah, this picture shows some men, but anybody could join. It's kind of like a Rotary Club. Any guy could join a Rotary Club, even though it looks like a bunch of men if you look at a meeting, right? What the question is, what is this gym selling? Because it is a business.
Supposedly fitness.
Physical fitness. Perfect. Thank you, Sissy. So the question is, how does the gym management gauge their success?
It's members.
Members, right? Because members pay. Exactly. Gyms sell physical fitness to attract members. Here's another example. What is this?
Church.
Church. It's a church. Who are their clients?
Members.
Members.
The public, right? Anybody can attend a church. They don't restrict you. Oh, sorry, you're the wrong race. You're the wrong gender. You know, you could even be of a different religion and they're going to let you in, correct? So the public are their clients. What are they selling?
Higher power.
Religion.
Religion, faith.
That's what they're selling. And how do they gauge their success?
Members.
Members who tithe, members who volunteer, but members, without members, a church dies. We all know that. Churches are selling religion to attract members. All right. And who's here been to Rotary International's headquarters in Evanston?
I have.
Awesome. I've been there. It's an awesome place. This is where all the Arch Clump and all this stuff is there. Well, John Huco, he spoke to my Rotary Club via Zoom in February. It was on Rotary's 116th anniversary. For those that don't know, John Huco is Rotary International's General Secretary and CEO. So he's like the real Rotarian. You know, he's there. All 700 Rotary staff reports to him. I explained to people, he doesn't rotate every year. I think he's been there since 2009, and he works at the world level with the World Health Organizations, other countries, the United Nations. If anybody's ever met him, he's very down to earth, and he's very amazing guy. I think he speaks like 8 languages or something like that. Well, the reason why he spoke to Plano West Rotary is not because of our membership growth. It's because of our diversity, equity, and inclusion. The fact that we represented our community, and that's what Rotary's shooting for. That's what we have to achieve in order for us to be transformative, to be that chrysalis, to become the butterfly. We need to diversify. Well, Mr. Huco said that Rotary clubs must treat themselves like a business. Rotary International runs itself like a business. That's the only reason why he keeps a job. So if we think about that, if Rotary is a business, a Rotary club is a business, who are your clients?
Anyone in the community.
The public, exactly. What are you selling?
Service above self.
Service. And how do we gauge our success?
by the members.
by the members. So you're like, no kidding, Alex. But the problem is Rotary clubs don't think of themselves like a business. They don't know who their clients are, and they don't know what their products are. Everybody, almost everybody here is in the business world. So when you think of your Rotary club like a business, and you think about who your clients are and what you're trying to sell them, you need to sell them something that they want to buy. If you are not producing a product that your client wants, that's probably why you're not having the growth that you want. Plano West Rotary, we're in the business of service. We actually have what we call a service project assembly line. And we have proven the more service we do, the more members we attract. For this Rotary year, the last 11 months, we average over 5 service projects a month. And these range from small to whatever you might call large. We also average 4 new members a month. Now, when I talk about all those service projects, that's where all those members are coming from. So let's bring this back together. Then I'm going to give you more detail. Hopefully everybody recognizes this. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create a lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. That's our vision statement as an organization. So we all need to know it. You know, they say in corporations, leaders always memorize their vision statement. I don't have it memorized, but I need to, but at least I know what it is in my heart. Well, what I want to do is talk about how Plano West Rotary implemented RI strategic planning initiative of the 4 action plans. This is a picture of my website, planowestrotary.com, if you want to take a look at it. But let's go into the 4 steps: increase in impact, expand reach, enhance participant engagement, increase our ability to adapt. FYI, you probably noticed there's nothing in here about we're a lunch club, dinner club, or a social club. That's where Rotary's going from that caterpillar to a chrysalis. So let's look at my club. We've done over 60 service projects this month. This is how we're increasing our impact, over 5 a month. I mean, 60 service projects in 11 months for the year, 5 a month. Now, we have led over 900 volunteers with those 60 service projects. We have done over 1,800 service hours. Now, this is what's really important. 80% of our volunteers are not in Rotary. They're not in our club. They're the community. They're the public. They're our clients. You can see some of these pictures. These are different, which project? Oh, this is one we just, actually, we're going to have an article in Rotary Voices is going to talk about a COVID project. We partner with our city, putting out COVID education information. We had a team of volunteers every weekend putting out 1,000 door hangers that the city printed out for us. And that's part of them. We did a feeding project. We do a lot of feeding projects because of COVID. A lot of people there's a lot of food deficiency. This particular one, we partnered with the school district. We used a school. We partnered with the North Texas Food Bank. It's a major food bank here. And we had over 60 volunteers that distributed 1,500 meals in an afternoon to underserving communities in Plano. When you look at this, 80% of these people aren't in Rotary, but 5 a month joins Rotary. Something else, this year, we have donated over $265,000 in goods to the community, like food or other things. And we did not write a single check. We're a poor club. Our dues are $200 a year. We did it by partnering with organizations. The only checks that we write are to the Rotary Foundation. And that we actually actively solicit donations for the Rotary Foundation, not our club, but for the Rotary Foundations. So even though we started this year off at 21 members, we're top 3 in per capita giving for annual fund and Polio Plus, starting with the small club, with 70% of our members being in Rotary less than a year. Why? That's when we went out and do our fundraisers, it's for the Rotary Foundation. Heaven forbid, that's our nonprofit. You may not know the Rotary Foundation is running out of money. Rotary clubs give more money to outside nonprofits than they do to the Rotary Foundation. So now the foundation is running out of money. So anybody that's involved in the global grant process, they've made major changes so they don't have to give out as much money. That's because us are not helping our own nonprofit. So that's one of my pet peeves, if you can't tell, because
Mine too.
without members, without the foundation, we're nothing. And so we had to change it. Let's talk about the second action area, expand our reach. This is critical. This is why John Huco spoke to our Rotary Club. We started off as, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, because I know I offended people in my district when I say this, but our club was a traditional US Rotary Club of old white Christian men. And we knew we needed to diversify. Now, if you think about it, I'm old Black Christian men, so I'm not that far off from what we don't want. You know? And so I'm not, if you're offended by old white Christian men, we're pretty close. You know, but what we started off the year from a public image perspective, identifying who our client is. Well, the client's the public. I gave you the statistics for Plano. So that's who we are addressing. So when you look at our website, you can look at it now, Plano West Rotary, you're going to see images that don't reflect our members at July 1st, but who we wanted to be members, because that's business 101. You want to market to your clients. You don't want to market to your employees. You market to your client. And if you look at all the pictures on our website, those are Rotary stock pictures. So you have access to them through the brand center. Honestly, our PI chair has picked out club pictures to put up there, stuff like you see in my background. We just haven't got around to doing it. We're targeting it for the next Rotary year. But the point is, that's who we're reaching out to. We are old white Christian men. We have been actively reaching out to young ethnic non-Christian women, because if we pursue that, we're going to diversify our club and grow. Now, this is something I had said earlier. I know a lot of people who are in membership, you're looking at all this growth. You're like, man, that membership committee is doing such a great job. Actually, this picture, oh, it's the next one. I'm going to show you our membership chair. She is shy. English is her second language. She speaks predominantly Spanish. She is not the kind of person to be out there recruiting. If I said recruit members, she would quit, because that is not her passion. What her passion is, working with people. So our membership committee, who has done a phenomenal job, we've gone, we're up 43 members. As Helen said, we are the fastest growing Rotary Club in the United States. That's what RI told us. John Huco said we're the model Rotary Club. That was in February. You know what we do? Our membership chair is retention and engagement. That's what they're focused on. How to get our members engaged, our new members especially, and then our existing members. So we have to work with everybody, getting people connect. Even though we're 64 members, we pride ourselves on being a family. Her job, and she has a lot of people on her committee that do different roles to create that family environment. And so far it's been successful. Now as we know, June's the big month, because that's what we got to find out who's going to continue. So we're going through that right now. We'll see what we start off with. As long as I get back to, if I could beat 21 by one person, I'm good to go. But I don't think we're going to lose 20 people. But I'm like, when I hit 22 to start July 1st, then I know at least I've increased it by one. Now, what I want to talk about is this outreach. This is what you want to know. We outreach through our service projects, our volunteers, our public image, and our programs. I already talked about the public image aspect, but let's think about service projects. We started in June, before the Rotary year started, we chartered a Rotary Community Corps. Is anybody familiar with those? Rotary Community Corps. I see the really people put their hand up. Rotary Community Corps is when a Rotary Club partners with a local community development organization. It's like a sponsorship. But different than Rotaract and Interact, you don't tell them what to do. You just say, we want to help you do what you want to do. That's what we did. We chartered the Rotary Community Corps of Plano Douglas Community. It's an historically Black neighborhood in Plano. It was actually a freed slave town a long time ago. Now it's 50-50 Black and Hispanic, but it also has the lowest poverty rate in the city. Well, we partnered with them and we started doing projects that this community development organization needed help on. We just provided the manpower, organization, and more importantly, the awareness, because Rotary's got a lot bigger name than they do. So we've done things like back to school supplies. The big thing that we did, every other week, we partnered with the food bank and we delivered meals to the families of this neighborhood. And we would typically, I think we had between 20 to 30 volunteers every week. That was our outreach. And so when you see these pictures behind me, a lot of those are from that. The yellow are old ones, but we get people from the community volunteering every other week, and they were excited about it. That's what they wanted to do. We did outreach through our volunteers. We invited elementary schools, high schools, colleges, because if you get an elementary school kid there, his parents are there. So they're volunteering as a family. That's what families want to do. And everybody gets a t-shirt, and then when they show up, they see this crowd of volunteers and it looks like them. Well, because everybody's wearing a t-shirt, they think they're all Rotarians. They're like, wow, we want to join you. Well, little do they know, only 20% of the people are Rotarians. If you look on our website, you'll see we have a motto. It's called serve with us, fellowship with us, join us. That's what I tell our club members. Don't recruit people to our club. Don't invite them to a meeting. Invite them to a service project. So in order to take advantage of that, we have to have that service project assembly line. If you look at, we, like Justin does with his club, we have our club meetings on Zoom and YouTube. If you look back to the first club meeting of July, it was my Vision 2020. I had 3 objectives, and they've obviously changed. But one objective was that we do 3 service projects a month. That was double what we had previously done. Well, we hit 5. My other objective, you're gonna laugh, was that we get 30 members. Now we're at 64. I thought 30 was a lot. That was 9. That was huge, especially during COVID. The other objective, which because of our growth, it was impossible, it was 100% Paul Harris Fellow. Well, when you add 43 new members, you're not going to get all those Paul Harris Fellows. And so we changed it to be 100% participation, every Rotarian every year, so 25 for every member. That's what our goal was. Needless to say, we've achieved all our goals, but you notice what my goals were. Service, membership, and the Rotary Foundation. And actually the membership wasn't really numbers, it was diversity. I actually have, you might not be able to see it. Oh, you can't see it because of the background. I have a sheet of paper, I have a chart. When we get new members, I put in their demographics and I track how we are compared to our city of Plano. That's what was leading how we focus our projects. Now, public image. Let me address this on expanding our reach. We have a very active public image campaign. We post daily on every platform, on at least one platform. We post 3 times a week on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we have consistent messaging using our pictures. We're either targeting, most of the posts are recruiting for our service projects. We do solicitation for the Rotary Foundation. And lately we've been bouncing between COVID awareness and, do you want to learn more about Rotary? And COVID awareness, for those that don't know, the Health and Human Resources Department of the US government has what's called a COVID Community Corps. Anybody can join it. You get the up-to-date COVID information. They give you ideas of how you can make an impact in your community. Every Rotary Club should be a part of it. Nothing gets back to normal until COVID's gone. So, let me go back. One other thing, our programs. We have programs that are targeting our audience. We have programs that when people speak to us and they say, what do you want me to speak about? One, we tell them, don't solicit money. I go, chances are your budget's bigger than ours, so you're asking money from the wrong people. But 2, we're a service organization. Let us know how we can serve with you. How can we make a positive impact in our community? So they talk about, we had the police chief a couple weeks ago. He talked about how we already do partner with them, but how we can partner with them more and how their officers partner with us. If you look at some of these pictures behind me, you'll see some police officers there. They're out there delivering food, with our volunteers, just as normal people. Also, we target local interest. And then here is something that can be really controversial for some Rotarians. We also target the communities that we're not in. For example, last month, I had the founder and president of North Texas Pride. Is anybody familiar with what Pride is? Pride is an international festival for the LGBTQ community. And he spoke to our club. He said it's the first time he's ever spoken to a Rotary club. Shame on Rotary. They do an annual festival in all cities all over the world. Theirs is in September. And he spoke, and I committed, we're going to volunteer. Let us know how we can volunteer for you. Part of that is our message that we are Rotary, we're open for business, and we're inclusive to everybody. Because most people, the LGBTQ community, they think Rotary's not open to them. We have to make sure that they understand we are open to everybody. Enhanced participant engagement. This is where the membership chairs come in. Our club, our membership chairs don't recruit. It's about enhancing participant engagement. First thing I want to point out, participants, keep in mind, this is Rotary's language, 2-year-old Rotary language. I'm sure your G line knows about it, but a lot of people in Rotary don't know about the true strategic plan. You notice they don't say enhance Rotarian engagement. They also don't say enhance member engagement. They said enhance participant engagement. If you go through the documentation for this action plan that's 2 years old, they're telling clubs, let the public volunteer with you. I'm just doing what Rotary told me to do. It's not really big rocket science, but as we know, Rotarians don't want to read. I was in district leadership for years. Trust me, I know that. And club leadership. Rotary's biggest problem is they don't want to change and they don't want to read. And RI gives great information if you read it. Go through Rotary Action Plan. They just lay it out. Participant engagement. They're saying get the public to volunteer with you. That's what we do. Then this is something we do that's can be kind of, can be complicated. That's one of my favorite words is whenever we get a new member involved, one, we ask them, what is your passion? It's actually part of we have an online membership application. You can take a look at it through our website. And we ask, what's your passion? And then we say, is there a nonprofit that you would like us to volunteer with? And we encourage them to lead it. But you're saying, oh my God, people don't know how to lead. You're right. But we have teams in our club that help them lead. So they're really almost a figurehead for their first project, and they have people that help them structure it, that help them go through all the Rotary bureaucrat, because we do waivers, registration, the t-shirts, it's all this stuff. Then we also get people on the team, so they're not alone. So new members, a month in Rotary, they get to implement a service project, either an area that they like or an area that we're already working on, and they feel vested in the club. And so far it's working for us. Now, it's not saying we haven't lost people. We've lost a couple people and we know some people aren't going to continue, but hey, most clubs lose more than they gain. So like I said, as long as I get one extra member, I call it a win. That's my goal, my vision. Now, that's how we enhance our participant our participant engagement is by engaging the members, because the engagement and then retention. If you have good retention, perfect example. We have one of our members, past presidents, been in Rotary for years. He has 2 levels of cancer, and he's told me all his vitals are going down. And so what we did, we pulled together a team of Rotarians, and because I asked him, how can we help you? What can we do? We help so many people. We got to take care of our own. He said, what would really help is transportation. A lot of times I have to go to the doctors, do something, and my wife's working, and so if the club could help out. So within 4 days, we pulled together a list of 5 Rotarians. We have a group chat. All he does is say, I need someone to drive me on this date to this place, and somebody pops up to do it. That's retention. That's how we create a family, and we're trying to do more. We have a budget. I'm sure other clubs do, but we have a budget for cards and flowers. And we have a sub team. All they do is call members to see how they're doing, to find out what's going on. Not to say come to a meeting or where have you been? How are you doing? And then that's when you find out what's happening. That's enhanced participant engagement. And then the last but not least, increase your ability to adapt. Part of this key, can I answer some questions after I finish this one? You guys mind? Cool. Because then it's a good breaking point. Is clubs have to be able to change. And a lot of times clubs codify themselves so they can't change through outdated bylaws and constitutions. Most club presidents, most club Rotarians don't know Rotary put out a standard constitution 2 years ago. And standard constitution means you can't change it. All you can change is your name and your address. Most Rotary clubs are using constitutions from who knows when. Same with our club. Same with bylaws. They give recommended bylaws, and what they do, you don't have to use them exactly, but they build in a lot of this flexibility that Rotary is now allowing. So I consult with a lot of club leaders, and usually they say, well, my club won't let me do this and that. Well, it's because they have these antiquated things in their constitution. It's a constitution that they're not even supposed to be using. So the first thing we did, we updated our constitution and bylaws to what Rotary wanted. We pulled all the garbage out of our bylaws that weren't governance, that were really policy, and created an MOP. So that way we didn't have to change our bylaws every year. And we were able to have the board make decisions relative to the club. Well, that helps from a structural standpoint. Then we also started focusing on areas. We, even though we're a poor club, $200 a year is what our club dues are. I think we're the second lowest in District 5810 out of 62 Rotary clubs. We allocated, we pay a part-time bookkeeper and a part-time executive secretary to do things that are important for our club that club members always drop the ball on. And the bookkeeping was key. We've never had good finances. Even when we paid a club member to do it, they didn't do a good job. We actually pay this outside bookkeeper less than what we paid a club member, but we actually have clean finances, novel concept. So our members can go on Club Runner, download our last month's financials, board minutes, full transparency. That was a decision we had to make, and it worked out. We also, for ability to adapt, hybrid meetings. We expanded the board. Our original board was really just our executive committee. You know, president, past president, president-elect, treasurer, secretary. I added 4 new members to the board, and I wanted them to be mainly new Rotarians. And when we interviewed them, they were like, well, we're just new to Rotary. Keep in mind, 75% of my club has been in Rotary less than a year. And we're like, we know. That's why we need you on the board. We've got all these past presidents already. We know Rotary past, but we want to move forward. You represent our future. You represent the community. You're going to take us in a direction that we haven't been. That's that caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly. So on our board, we have a 19-year-old. I tell him he's probably one of the youngest Rotary board members in the world. We have 5 of our board members been in Rotary less than a year. We've been training our club secretary, which starts in July. He's also 19 years old. And our club treasurer-elect, she's not 19, but she hasn't been in Rotary for a full year. So we're getting all these new ideas and we're receptive to them. And that's what's really important. So once again, I kind of tie it all together. We have a lot of documentation on how we did it. Rotary gives a lot of training on it. Talk to anybody about Rotary's 5-year strategic plan that started in 2019, and you'll see exactly what we did. So before I move on, Justin, your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. And so one question, you mentioned that you have somebody that, or a team that calls folks just to see how they're doing. And you're specific to say that it's not the, hey, where were you? You know, we missed you at church kind of call. And so we've tried to do something like that in our club, some success. How did you get that to work for you where this team was able to do that without it coming off as, hey, we missed you for lunch yesterday kind of thing under the guise of, oh, well, we sure hope to see you soon. What was your magic sauce on that?
Well, good question. And part of it is we are not a meeting club. If you look on our website, under Join Us, it says Club meetings are not required. Community service is expected. So we tell people, you don't have to go. We know you have a life. Like if you look at our meetings, like I think on yesterday, we had 27 people. We have, we're in Dallas. We have 4 UT Austin students that are in our club. We've got people from Dallas, Fort Worth, Carrollton. We have basically turned our club into a hybrid e-club, but traditional club, because we are 41 year. We just took the meeting aspect out of our club because that's not what we call a Rotarian service. But to answer your question specifically, we never say, where were you at the meeting? Because that's not a priority for us. We just want to, what we ask them to say is, start off, how are you doing? That's when you start the first question caring, it kind of, they're going to tell you or they're not going to tell you. And obviously, if they don't want to tell you, you just say, hey, just want to let you know we're thinking about you. So it was never an accountability call. It was a caring call. Now, we don't measure it. There's no what's successful. How do you measure something subjective like that? Except for we haven't had a lot of people leave our club yet. It's not June 30th yet, but but it's just part of that retention because people want to feel like you care about them, not that you're trying to use them. That's our logic for that.
I did one of those calls yesterday, and one thing he said was, thanks for calling and not giving up on me. I promise I'll be back soon.
Exactly. You don't even have to ask. What I'm going to do, as you notice, my slides have been very visual, and so they're not really useful for you. So I created slides that are more useful. So I'm not going to read them to you because I talked through a lot of this, but when I send the slides afterwards, I put a slide together for each area of the action plan, increase your impact. This is expand your reach. These are different things that we've done in our club that you might try. Every club's different. Enhance participant engagement, and then increase your ability to adapt. And these are a lot. Technology was huge. Our club, like I said, median age of 67, had 0 technology. And we evolved over the last couple of years using Sign Up Genius, electronic forms, Canva, Doodle. So we are, like, if you look at our website, we get at least 1 member a month from someone that finds us on the internet and they join our club without talking to anybody because they like what they see. Let me show you something real quick. I'll show you what the secret sauce, the most important part of our club is. I'm going to share my website.
While you're working on that, when you get that 1 member a month that found you because of the website, do you ask them and do you track how they found your website? What were they searching for?
Well, it's funny you say that. We Google My Business. Every Rotary Club should have a Google My Business account because if you create it, have graphics in there, we have, I think, 7 or 8 referrals on there. Well, who's a referral? Your members. So it's easy to get them. Google loves that. So when anybody Googles Plano or Rotary near me, if they're around us, we pop up, even if we're not high on their search ranking. But we also, so that a lot is because of Google. Here's a look at our website. Remember I told you our imaging? It's very diverse imaging. This imaging was created when we were 21 members. And this is all, anybody in the PI world recognizes this from Rotary's Brand Central. It works great, right? Now, remember I talked about serve with us, fellowship with us, join us. Here's member testimonials. We make sure they're diverse in age, ethnicity. I think we only have about 15 or so, but the testimonials are amazing. People resonate to that. But as you look through this website, which one thing do you notice a lot? I'll point.
The correct brand.
Find service projects, right? That's what we're selling. Anybody involved in marketing, you need to have a call to action. Our call to action is service projects. When you click it, this is our service project page. Anybody that's ever been in any training with me, I'm really passionate about Rotary clubs need to have waivers and releases because when you get sued, you will pray you had one. And our club insurance provides a recommended one, but 90% of Rotary clubs don't get them signed, but you should. We require it. We actually have an electronic version that gets a DocuSign, but you can see these are all service projects over our next 30 days. Now, a lot of them are, this is something we partner with the school district. You click it, it goes in, this is called Club Runner. We paid somebody to do this club, to make this site. You click it again, you go into Sign Up Genius. And this is where people sign up. And this is what, June 1st. And we're partnering with the school district. We're delivering meals once a week on a Tuesday at 3 campuses. And every school district has this. This is the Title I students, free and reduced lunch. And so the schools are, usually they'll have drive-throughs for the families that were staying at home. And our school district is doing it through the summer. Well, we have volunteers to do it. Well, majority of these people aren't in our club. Let's see who's in our club. Joanne, Roz, and Tara. But all these other people are just community citizens. And so we take them through our process. We get waivers. The school district requires a background check, which we do, and they volunteer and they get a t-shirt. But this is our key. When people look at our website, they look at this like, oh my gosh, look at everything you guys are doing. This is a club I want to be a part of. So then they join without even, look how easy it is to join. Well, you could do it from the front page. If you go join us, that's, ooh, that was interesting. And this is our join us page. 5 easy steps. Let us know you're interested by completing a short membership application. Let us know by serving or networking us for 2 weeks. We have a 2-week interval between application and then we vote them and induct them. Our membership dues are less than $17 a month. We really invoice quarterly at $50. People like thinking of it's a month. This is our membership application. Real simple. We kind of give the stats, what the dues are. They fill in their info. We actually give them information if they're interested in the 7 areas of focus, what 5 areas of service they want. This is how we know where to direct them from a volunteer perspective. And then people are pretty verbose in what they want to accomplish through Rotary, tell us about themselves, what are they interested in. So, it's really simple. It's more getting to know you. And it's been resonating with people. We also have a young adult initiative. Basically, 18 to 22, we cut their dues in half. And then we target finding career mentors in our club that will help them career-wise. We find out if they want to have internships. We seek club members. So we have a couple of our young adults are interning with other members. And this page was actually developed by young adults, and they felt it would resonate to people like them. And so that was my little Rotary, my little website thing. And then questions, which I know I've taken up too much of the time. I apologize.
Hey, Alex, I got to get this question in just for me because I don't really understand. I understand what it is, the Rotary Community Corps, okay? I understand what it is. And you said you created one in I forget how you put it, but it sounded like maybe an underserved community or whatever. So you started one there. Like, how did you start it? I mean, did you partner with a group in that community? Is that how you did it? And then offered?
That's exactly what we did.
Okay.
We found a nonprofit, a community development organization that focuses on that community. And every underserved community has some organizations that's focusing on them and they're doing things. And we said, let us help you. And they said, really? Like, yes, this is what we could bring to the table. We're Rotary, other clubs, volunteers, so on. We're not going to give you any money. Remember, we're a poor club, but we're going to help you. Time, talent, no treasure.
Yeah.
and so they just said, well, we're doing this. Can you help us? Of course. So we created a service project to help them. And they did other things. So they just started identifying things that they needed help, and we just helped them.
That's great.
What's key about RCCs is this is Rotary. 80% of them are not in the United States. I can't remember the number, but there's thousands of them. Just
Right.
US Rotarians aren't
Lots in
familiar with them.
India. Yeah.
India, Africa, the underserved nations, third world
Right.
nations. And so the key is to be a member of the RCC, you cannot be in Rotary, because Rotary
Right.
wants these organizations to be part of the community. And so we help them, not tell them what to do or take over. And so, but when they do join, then they have to quit the RCC. So we've had 5 people from RCC join our club. Well, they got to quit. Actually, it was 2 presidents in a row. The RCC joined our club. And so we got to find a new one. That was our biggest challenge.
How many people are in the RCC right now? Just approximate.
Oh my gosh. Well, the way we look at the RCC, it's this nonprofit and who their community partners are. And formally, I think they're like maybe about 10 people, but informally, they have people that help them from 20, 30, depending on the project. Because Rotary does not ask you to track the members of the RCC. They want to keep it fluid. They just want to know who the president of the RCC is. And they send us surveys every 6 months to see how it, because they don't want Rotary clubs to control it. Because we're really good at taking over everything.
Yeah. Thank you.
You are welcome. Any other questions? After all that talking, I can't believe there's no questions. Sissy.
Alex, you mentioned the project assembly line. What is that?
Well, that's what we call our club, because we put out so many service projects. So we're always trying to come up with new ideas for service projects. I just had one of our club members. He is in the Chamber of Commerce with the executive director of the Brain Injury Network of Dallas. And she identified some areas that she needs help. I think we're going to help clean up a garden. So our team is helping him put together the project in our way, because the Plano West Rotary way. And then we're going to send a bunch of volunteers there and clean up their garden. And I've already heard people in our club have said, we know that organization. We want to volunteer with them. Does that help, Sissy?
Yes, thank you.
Just ask your members what they're passionate about, and then help them serve.
Thanks, Alex. This is Dee Dee down here in Alice.
Hi,
I was
Dee Dee.
in Plano a couple of weeks ago, or that area, McKinney, trying to recruit my family members to join Rotary. I want to say thank you, and you were very inspiring. I just wish honestly, some of my Rotarians in my own personal club would come, because it has become kind of a program club, and not following, in my opinion, doing what's right for Rotary. I know I've talked to my leadership team, people that you talk to and so forth, but there's so much need out there, and then we forget we got to take care of our community in general instead of just one. There was a project, it wasn't even a project, they wanted to write a check, big amount, just to another nonprofit organization, and I kind of stood up, and because I was ready to quit, honestly, to say that's not what we're here for. We're not a check writing club. We're a service organization. And yes, we can help with some, but not a big amount. So, but I want to thank you. I mean, I love membership. I would love for all our Rotarians to join our district, because we do so much good things. And just to tag on to Justin, today I had to work with, I didn't know, I was assisting an elderly, and the person that was helping us was so-called a Rotarian from our district, and he recognized me. I don't know why. and he goes, I'm a Rotarian too. And I said, well, how are y'all doing and stuff? He goes, well, I'm not doing active because of COVID. And I said, really? I said, were you sick? And they said, no, because, the pandemic. I said, but our district really went like virtual. He goes, yeah. He goes, but I think I'm going to go back. I think, I missed that. And so hoping, past District Ellison, that he's going back to the evening club, so, and maybe that's what we need. Sometimes we need a break, or we forget why we joined Rotary. But thank you.
Dee Dee, and Ellison knows, because we talked about this in these pet small groups. A lot of clubs have the same challenge that you have, and my club had the same challenge. when you've got a median age of 67, I mean, we have, I think 25, let me look. We've got 28% of our club is over 60, 13% over 70. We have two 80-year-olds in our club. Well, they're just not going to do, particular service projects. Well, I remember when I came to this club, I was saying, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? They're like, well, our members don't do it. We just can't do it. And I said, well, we're allowed to have other people volunteer with us. And they're like, well, but we don't do that. I go, well, is there a problem if we change? For example, we did an adopt a highway. Most cities have the ability of, signing up, taking a highway and clean it up, right? I mean, everybody does that. Adopt a spot. We did it. Well, when I joined our club 3 years ago, it was basically 2 people that did it, and maybe they could get their friends and family. And that was it, because they couldn't get anybody else in the club to do. Well, they allowed me to implement some of these different ideas, like a sign-up genius, market it over social media to the people in the community. Now we cap out at 10 people every other month when we do it. So we don't even have to actively recruit for it. And like I said, 80% of them are not our club members. So Dee Dee, I would say, let the club members that don't want to do anything, not do anything, because that's fine. If they want to write checks, tell them to write it to the Rotary Foundation. That's really important. But then get other people in your community that do want to do stuff. And if they like you and other people that are volunteering, they're going to join your club without even asking. This is one I do ask. When somebody volunteers with us, like over and over and over and over again, and I'm like, so when are you going to join? You've been like on 5 or 6 projects. They're like, well, I'm just too busy. I've got this and that. I'm in all these nonprofits. I go, but you do more service projects than the average Rotarian. Why don't you join? And I have used that line to get so many people to join. In fact, our upcoming treasurer, she's like a volunteer extraordinaire. And she's like, she joined a couple weeks after I had the conversation. I'm like, Catherine, what's up? You joined. She's like, well, I thought about what you said, and I'm always volunteering with you. So if that's all it takes to be a Rotarian, why not? Well, that's all it takes to be a Rotarian in our club. You guys have to decide if your club is going to be willing to actually do what RI says and focus on the service and be open to everybody. Notice that little jab there? Do what RI says. Because this isn't new. This is a 2-year-old action plan that nobody covers. So Dee Dee, don't give up hope. My club was exactly in your place a couple years ago.
Alex,
Luis.
you blew my mind. I think we need to use you as a model. I mean, it's just like, wow. That's all I can say. And thank you very much for doing this.
Well, I hope it helps. That's my only thing I get out of this. I want to hear from you in the future that your clubs use some of this and actually grew, served, had impact, made a difference with your community. Then we're meeting. Oh, by the way, partner with your city. We have a strategic partner with the city of Plano. They come to us when they need volunteers. Same with our school district. They trust us. We have a track record. So they come to us when they need volunteers. We have churches, mosques, junior league volunteers with us. I mean, we have every organization in Plano comes to us to see if we can help them or if they could volunteer with us. Be that organization for your city, and the members will come without you even ask them, unless you do my trick. If you're here 5 times, you should at least join.
Alex,
But
this
it
is
seems
Andy.
like the administration is what's difficult, administering the whole thing. And I guess that's for another session.
We have lots of guides. In fact, if you go on our website, you can see them, because you're right. To administration, to have somebody new run a project, you've got to give them guides. So that takes time. The amount of time we spent on this, you guys could have written up a guide, the steps of what to do in your club. Most people just don't want to do it. But when you do it, it gets involved, people use it. I'm really good about putting up guides for stuff. Then I send it to a bunch of people in the club. I go, pick it apart, give me critiques. not all of it's useful, but it makes it better. And then as people use it. And so we do have, like I said, that's why we pay a part-time. I'll even tell you our numbers. You got to negotiate this because I can't say you're going to get this rate. We pay a marketing agency $50 a month to do all our social media. Trust me, it's worth it because everybody knows club members aren't going to do it.
There we go.
$50 a month. You know, it's a professional agency that's accountable. We pay our bookkeeper $75 a month, and she does our books, QuickBooks, everything, P&L, balance sheet. We even get a copy of it. We upload it on our website. Then we pay her $75 a month for administrative stuff. So all the stuff that Rotarians never do, we pay her. So for $200 a month, you know, what is that? $2,400 a year. We get all that administrative stuff taken care of. It's not really, now you got to negotiate. I can't guarantee you're going to get those rates, but you got to negotiate it and then you still have to manage. Sissy, you had another question.
Well, is that with, I mean, does the secretary or the company you pay for social media, do they do the join us page and the project page? Do they do your whole website?
No, they are just social media. They just do LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So if you look at it, go to any of those and Google Plano West Rotary, you'll see we have stuff all the time. And
but
then
Alex, who does that wonderful website of yours? I mean, the Rotary Club site that has, you know, an application on there, on the Join Us page, and has all the service projects, and you can click on and say, I want to volunteer at the school at this hour. Who does all that? Okay, I put a name in chat of the person. She's actually, let me find, her name's Pam Blankensee. A number of Rotary districts hire her to manage their website, and clubs can hire her to either change their website or manage their website. And what I was going to do here, I was going to find you her info and share it on the District 5810. In fact, I actually thought she manages your districts because she does 3 districts in Texas. This is her. And so Pam Blankensee, if we do the email, oh, it does it that way. My bad. But I will send to somebody, Helen, her contact information. But she's our webmaster and social media director. And if anybody who's ever been involved in website design, I created the wireframe. Oh, perfect example. Our website, you talked about our website. It's funny you say that. This is key. This design is not a traditional Rotary website, as you know, even though it is Club Runner. Now, let me show you something else.
Hey, Alex, you got another question here. John Kilburn had a question.
Let me finish this and I'll get to John. This is my company's website. And I hired a consulting agency to help me with the design of it. And it was very effective. So I created a wireframe using the same concepts and handed it to Pam. And it's a whole concept story brand. If anybody ever wants to Google it, it's a marketing technique that a lot of corporations and small businesses use. And so it basically treats your client as the hero and your guide is to help them. So that's the design of our website. So I gave Pam how I wanted it designed. She created it, and then we worked through it, but she doesn't maintain it. We have me and a couple other members, we maintain different sections of it. So who was I supposed to answer a question from?
I think it was me.
John Kilborn. I see the
Yes.
John and then Justin.
Yeah, I had a question. You mentioned something about Club Genius, Sign Up Genius off of Club Runner.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here playing with Club Runner. I don't see it.
Well, Sign Up Genius is not, we link, okay, let me show you real easy. Picture's worth 1,000 words, right?
Yeah.
So here, I'm typing up Sign Up Genius, here, hit enter, and it's an online application, and you can use it for free or you can pay premium, and it gives you the ability of doing online signups. So this is what ours looks like. So if we pick a project, you create it, and it gives people to sign up. And then when you have it created, it gives you a link, like where is it? Share. That's our link. And then we link that to our Club Runner website. So if we go to a service project, when you go inside, these are all clickable links that take you to the Sign Up Genius.
Great ideas, but way over my head at your speed. How can I learn this at a slow person's level? Because this is the type of stuff I get excited about, but when I get frustrated because I don't know how I can really learn this in a certain
Sign
amount
Up
of time.
Genius is great.
Yeah.
Whether you link it to Club Runner or not, just type it. They have a free account. And so anybody could do it and play with it. They have online tutorials and help, and almost anybody in a school district knows. I learned about it from Interactors. I used to be Interact chair. They did a Sign Up Genius. I'm like, that's cool. So I Googled it and went in. That's how I learned it, John. And then we just use it. Now, Club Runner actually has its own capability, but it wants you to pay Club Runner prices, and it's kludgy. Like, I'm not a fan of Club Runner. But you know, it's a great CRM. But they have like their volunteer sign up thing, but you have to pay a premium for it. Just use Sign Up Genius for free and link it.
John,
Okay,
this is
thanks.
We're
this
a
is
poor
Joanne
Rotary
in
Club, so
Victoria, and I just want to say I learned how to use Sign Up Genius just by Googling Sign Up Genius, and I'm not a computer person by any stretch of the imagination, but I really was able to do it, and it was easy. So
Okay.
just Google it and get on the site and follow their instructions.
this is what's, thank you, Joanne. This is what's great about Sign Up Genius. Not this linking to Club Runner part, is it gives you a link. And we use Bitly. So, you know, Bitly is a shortener because, you know, so that way I'll get, like, for example, this feeding project we're doing with the school district, it's bit.ly/Rotary Meals. So people can click it from anywhere. So you can text it to people, put it in social media, and all they got to do is click it and sign up for your projects. Keep it simple. So they don't have to show up someplace and write it down. And the Sign Up Genius helps you manage the whole sign up process as well. Like I said, it's used globally for lots of organizations. And Joanna figured it out. So call Joanna, John. She's going to throw rocks at me for saying that.
And Justin's got his hand up.
Justin, go for it.
So you mentioned in your new member application that you asked them what their interests are and, you know, how they want to serve the community. Do you also periodically send out member satisfaction surveys? I know that, you know, 2/3 of your membership is brand new and under a year old, but to some of the others, you know, the other third that's been there for more than 11 months, you ask them, what do you like? What don't you like? You know, just a general satisfaction survey.
That's a great question. I put on the shared screen our membership app. So, I mean, like I said, you guys can just go to About Us, join us, and then just click it. So it's easy for you. And it's using Wufoo, electronic form like Google Forms or Jot Forms. I like Wufoo. And so to answer your question, our membership committee, they do surveys because she's gone through the training. So she does the formal surveys. She actually doesn't even let me see them because, you know, sometimes people can complaining about Alex and everything. And so I let people run with it, you know, and so she does periodic surveys. She's gone through Rotary's membership training, but then that other team of reaching out to people, that's really where the changes come from. And then what I do, because we have, of our club of 64, only 15 of those club members have been in Rotary more than 3 years. And the other are new less than a year. And of those 15, 12 of us are past presidents. And that's our traditional median age of 67. I personally call them and find out. That's how I found out our one member is, you know, his 2 cancer issues are doing negative numbers. So I at least to tie into because for our veteran members, you know, they love all the change, you know, but I still want to keep connections with them because that is, you know, where our past is. Now, with that said, for those that are trying to change your club, our club founder, who's a 51-year-old Rotarian that founded our club 41 years ago, he's 83 years old. He is my #1 advocate. No matter what I ask, he's like, go for it. I love it. It's awesome. And he's the kind of guy, he's in a meeting when people, all the naysayers, real Rotarians don't say that. Well, no one's going to argue with him, you know? So it's awesome. I mean, right now, my biggest challenge is we're finally going to be able to do our biggest fundraiser. Well, I want us to, we're applying for a local global grant, tackling the area of homelessness in Plano. Every Rotary Club can do that. And we also want to qualify for a tier 1 district grant, which for our club, you have to have a per capita of 120 per member. Well, it's tripled from what it used to be. So I'm like, if we're doing our fundraiser, we need to pay off the Rotary Foundation so we could get that money back from the district grant. How often do you get a nonprofit return on investment? You don't, it's illegal. But when we give to a Rotary Foundation, we get that return from a district grant, and then you get the future return from DDF funds for a global grant. So I am trying to, I'm building, they'll never watch this on YouTube, but I'm building my internal support so that I asked the board to let us donate all the money from our proceeds to the Rotary Foundation, as opposed to all these other nonprofits like we usually do. And so I asked him about it. He's like, it's a great idea. I go, really? Are you sure? We've never done this. Well, we should have. He's so awesome. And he's a 51-year Rotarian, man.
And Alex, you also have questions from
Deepa.
Deepa and Andy Hagan.
Deepa's hand's been up for a while.
Hi, Alex. Very nice presentation. Yeah, just to give a short introduction about myself. My name is Deepa and I'm a member at Mission Rotary Club. I just joined the Rotary Club and I'm an international student from Nepal at UTRGV. I'm doing my master's in disaster studies. Yeah, your presentation was like quite impressive, and I was also quite impressed to see how you involve and engage young students, you know. So my question at the moment is, how do you retain and motivate those young students, you know? What do you think, like how they prioritize their school, jobs, friends, social circle, and their engagement in the club?
Great question, Deepa. I'm gonna ask you a question. What motivates you to stay in Rotary?
I mean, like, I come from Nepal, you know. I have seen like people affected by disaster crises. I have helped people in need, you know. I also used to work for different Red Cross while back in Nepal. So like, yeah.
So you want to serve. You understand the importance of serving. That's why our young people, in fact, we have a Nepali in our club. He's actually our 19-year-old board member, as a matter of fact. And you could probably relate, his grandfather just died from COVID 2 weeks ago, and his father is doing that Hindu, I don't know to call it ritual or tradition, where he can't touch anything.
Yeah, for 13 days.
Yes, and so our club member, he's there for his father. Basically, when of the Hindu faith, when a father dies, his next born son has a bunch of, like, they can't eat certain things, they can't touch anything for a lot of days. It's kind of rough. And so our club member, he's basically being his father's handmaid through that process. And that's the power of having international members in your club. You get to learn about the different cultures, different religions, just how it's different. And that just makes the club stronger. So to answer your question more directly, because we embrace that diversity, we embrace our ethnicity, and we give our young adults equal opportunity to serve. Our club secretary, starting July, he's a 19-year-old, you know, so is our club. So we have 2 19-year-olds that will be on our board in July. Well, that's what young people want. They want the opportunity, and they also want to be mentored, because they know they don't know what they don't know. And so we have club members that go out of their way, and I'm one of them, to mentor these young people, to kind of be in a caring but mentoring role, like, hey, we don't necessarily do it that way. We have 2 18-year-old, 19-year-old running our COVID project when we partner with the city. And I gave them who their point of contacts were. Well, little did I know, they Googled and started emailing senior leadership in the city. police chief, new deputy city managers, a department director, and Plano's a pretty big city. And so I get a call from the police chief, who's a good friend of mine. He's like, Alex, isn't so-and-so helping you? I go, yeah. He's like, well, are you sure? I go, yeah. I'm like, what are you asking for? He's like, well, we're getting all these emails. Well, that's a learning experience, for them. They don't know. I'm like, dudes, you don't email senior leadership in the city. You don't copy the police chief on stuff like this. Well, that's what they want, because how are they, when are they going to get the opportunity to work on significant projects? The city of Plano says we increased Hispanic vaccination rates by 9% with our project. And that's solely attributable to what we were doing. Well, these young men they led the team of a bunch of people. Some of them were older than their grandparents. They're working with people in the city. That's why they stay in our club, because we actively give our young people leadership roles. And I also know a typical Rotary Club is not going to do that. A typical Rotary Club has these bylaws and constitution that says, well, to be on the board, you have to be a committee chair. To be on a committee chair, you have to be on a committee. To be in a committee, you got to be in the club 4 years. So basically your board looks like a bunch of old white men. So when somebody who is not that old white man gets in this club and they see leadership that doesn't look like them, well, this is a waste of time. Oh, they're going to make me do their social media. Never say that to young people. Oh, can you do our social media? So open up the opportunity, which ironically, Rotary International told us to do this 2 years ago through the strategic plan, but Rotary clubs don't ever want to read it. Luis.
Can we have one more questions, and that way we can go to dinner? And I think it's a fantastic presentation, by the way, as everybody knows.
Well, and I apologize for going long, but you guys were asking questions, so.
Andy, did you have a question, Andy?
Well, is this being recorded or retained, or Justin?
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, it is. Do I need to pause that?
There's a lot of. Yeah, no. I just wanted to make sure, man. And Alex, thank you for all you're doing, sharing all these ideas. You're really showing the dynamics of the Rotary wheel in motion with Rotarians at the core, at that keyhole, if you will. And so thank you for sharing. I just want to applaud you and your members showing a different way of looking at things. And we're definitely taking all of these points to heart.
A lot of people are going to listen to the recording, by the way. I've been getting requests.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good work. Good work.
So as we come to an end, I want to point you back to what RI has been begging us to actually do for the last 2 years. These are the 4 components of Rotary International's strategic plan. And if you Google Rotary Action Plan, they have a whole page for it, courses, downloads, presentations, just begging us to do it. And I think, is Emily Tucker your RMO?
Yes.
She's awesome. Emily is awesome. I work with her, and I encourage you, ask Emily for advice. It's amazing how much somebody knows when they handle a Rotary region, which is what? How many zones is that?
Well, she covers our 23, 23 districts in our paired zones. So.
Well, but she's a regional, so she handles multiple zones, and so ask her questions, send her an email. I've asked her questions on, hey, I'm having this problem. What have you found? Because she deals with so many Rotary clubs, and then she has the whole, she came from CDS or Club District Support, so she's got that background. She's got so many different connections, and she is very wise. So I always toot her horn because she's been a great resource for me, at least. And then CDS as well. Do we have Nick Taylor's our district's CDS associate? Is that for you guys?
Yeah. He is also, along with James D'Amato.
Yeah, that's his boss. Great, very responsive. So I encourage club leadership to use, do the numbers, 1.2 million times 85. That's how much revenue Rotary's bringing in by our dues, because we're about 85 a year. Well, that's where it's going, to this phenomenal support that we get. And if we don't take advantage of it, shame on us. We're paying for it. I see Ellison doing some math there. You're like, holy, that's the size of the organization we're a part of. That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Thank you very much, Alex. We
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate
Awesome.
I was glad I got to meet you during pets, or otherwise we wouldn't have had this meeting tonight. So that's wonderful.
Excellent.
Well,
Excellent.
I told one of our PDGs, because we were talking, told him I was speaking, I go, well, you know, Ellison had to put up with me for 3 hours for 5 nights. So I was shocked he actually wanted to hear me.
You speak with authority, my friend.
Well, that's why I like using substantiated data. So people don't think it's me. I mean, this is Rotary's mission for us. We just have to follow it.
That's right. I love that. All right.
Any other
Thank you so
questions?
much, Alex. Thank you so
you.
much, Alex. That
Thank
was a
y'all.
great presentation.